Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. Happy Venus retrograde. I have a video coming up. Stay tuned for all signs, giving you a little heads up as what to expect from right now, December 19th to January 29th, when we will be in Venus retrograde. That is next. So if you tune into this and you would like to be part of that live, join me over there shortly. But first, my divine feminines, my empaths, I have a question to present to thee. It is on the heels of working with clients all day. I've had a beautiful day with my clients, and I've had several themes show up, and they always do. That's what one of my favorite things as a practitioner is working and getting to connect with you is. Do they even resonate with you? That's the question. My angel said it was quite apropos to pose this question because it was Venus retrograde. So many of us come out of connections, and if you've lived long enough, you've been in a connection where someone did not choose you or you were not, quote unquote, someone's ideal. And I know that that is something that I have dealt with in a myriad of different ways in my life. And what I realized is whether it was romantic, platonic, or otherwise, what I realized was when I got my footing, when I found my backbone, when I started to really love myself and realize my magical empath energy, and I started to respect myself, I realized that those people weren't for me. Now, this isn't that kind of like, well, they don't like me, so I don't like them. I'm rubber, you're glue. No. When I really started to assess connections, I realized that they were not worth their while. They didn't invest. I didn't really like them. What I was trying to do was maybe in my own way change them to rise to my vibration. I always taught people that I was ever interacting with that one day we'd all find our tribe. And when I stepped aside from many relationships, I realized that in fact we did find our tribe. We found people that we better resonated with. Now, if it happens to you, you tend to be bitter about it and you look at it from a slanted perspective. I know that I did. And I was like, that is not fair. And this is not right. And how does this always happen to me all of my life? And my angels started asking me a question about 6, 7 years ago. And they said, do you even like this person? Do you even like these people? Do you even like this group of friends? I had called things dead to rights. I remember years ago talking to an old friend from high school, and it was about another friend. And he was trying to convince me that we had some like great path. And I had kind of like pegged her as a narc, and I wasn't wrong. Years later, she and I had a conversation that involved a guy, and that guy said a similar thing to her. And my angels tapped me on the shoulder and they said, why did you need this person's confirmation of what you knew years ago just because someone tried to talk you out of that perspective? That's before I really loved myself and trusted who I was. My situation and the thing that I'm here to convey to you today is if you look back at a lot of the people that you were killing yourself trying to make them love you or teach them how to love you and they refuse to do it, it's because you guys didn't resonate and you vibrated out of each other's alignment. The harsh reality that I had to deal with that really helped me break the yoke of my burdensome connection in my most recent incarnation was understanding that they wanted something else completely that I was willing to offer, and I wanted something else completely that they ever could give. We both were not barking up the right tree. And eventually we did bark up the right trees, and we both got exactly what we wanted. I'm not even going to stand in judgment because there's nothing wrong with someone wanting something different than what you are giving them. There's nothing wrong with someone saying, I'm outsourcing because you're not fulfilling my needs this way. Because they never fulfilled my needs either. I had compensated and can I tell the truth, empath? I had overcompensated for their deficits forever, for years and years. I can say it. On December 19th, the year of our Lord 2021, on this Venus retrograde, it is so clear to me the ways that I overcompensated. And that's what I submit to you. Have you done the same thing? Did you want to do for them what they could never do for you and then make it seem like they had done it? Let me give you an example. Purchase anything, they don't have money, they can barely reach the stove, but they come in and they present you with a tray. Now, let's replace the scenario. You are the other spouse. You're also the person waiting in bed to get this beautiful breakfast that was created in your wonderful child's head, except you're playing both parts. That's what empath, a lot of our relationships look like. So you go and shop, you make the investment, you purchase the pancake flapjack mix, you buy the add-ins, blueberries, chocolate chips, bananas, you tell me down below, and you whip it all up, and then you hand it to your child, and they take all of the glory, and they smile, and that's okay, because that's your child. but our partners are not our children. And often empaths, we get into situations with people who parentify us because they have broken energies and wounds. We all do have issues regarding our parents. It is part of the human condition. Very rarely will you see someone who's fully well adjusted without one slant on another side. But what I'm saying is, does that seem like that's an energy that should fly? Does it seem like that's fair that you purchased everything, bought everything, did everything, and took it in there and presented it to yourself? Because so many of us were in relationships when that's exactly what we were doing. We were doing all of the heavy lifting, all of the cake, all of the cooking, all of the coffee brewing, all of the everything for someone who wasn't doing it for us. And then we acted very like surprised and overwhelmed and gobsmacked that they had bought us a tray that we had prepared ourselves. God will prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies, but many of us were with our enemies preparing their table. Come on, y'all. That's backwards. That would be called a fable. It is a lie. That is not the reality of how we get by in relationships. So, on this Venus retrograde, if you're reflecting bitterly or happily or exuberantly or sadly about a long foregone connection, ask yourself, did you and them create the proper convection? Were you able to heat it up? What are you? Are you a sapiosexual? Did you need conversation to stimulate you and excite you? Was that your seduction? Is that what turned you on? Or did you need loyalty if it was just a platonic friendship and you needed someone to protect you because that was maybe a wound and a gaping wound that you were trying to fix? Did you need someone that was just going to be your ride or die or your wing guy in whatever capacity? Did they need someone to have a hot, scintillating connection with that was filled with sexuality? We all need different things. Empaths on this channel, I will not tolerate if we are here and we are not working towards being great. I am patient and tolerant of much. But when I have people that are years and years and years out of relationships and they're saying, but are they, why did they choose this other person and whatever, that is a normal part of any kind of disconnection, especially if it feels cruel, abrupt, and you never receive closure. And many of us here have dealt with narcissists, so you never will. That's why I've taught you how to give yourself your own closure. I'm not saying it because it sounds good. I'm not trying to feed you the red pill. I'm saying it to you because it's something that I had to do too. I never bring anything to you that I haven't done. And I've actually had great success with it. I've replaced and put back my broken pieces. And I've moved on with so much of my life. But it's because I realized me and whomever were never vibrating right. And I'm talking about in every incarnation. From the bullies in high school to the bullies on the cheerleading field. Check out the community page for the video of that and the accompanying video. To the bullies in the cult. Y'all, how could I be in a cult and get bullied? You would never imagine. I have had the wildest things happen where I was clearly told, you don't fit in. You can't sit here. But it's because I was never supposed to be part of their atmosphere, and neither were you. But we were bending over backwards trying to figure out what to do to make them realize that they loved us too, and fuck them. My favorite thing to say on a Venus retrograde day, fuck them. If your exes are coming back and they miss you now, they realize that you're the magical person in their life. Fuck them. It's too late. I was working with a client today who says she gets personally offended when people realize after the fact that she was valuable because she was always that. Empath and Earth Angels here listening, we may not have always realized our value in those incarnation relationships, and that's precisely what they were there to teach us. They were there to teach us that we were worth more. And usually we figure that out when we're walking out the door. What does it say? Don't let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you. Well, the good Lord split my heart right in half, but it created in me this place where I could grow. And out of that came a seed of self-respect that I didn't even know I had. That is the magic of getting out of those toxic connections. And the question that I submit and I have to ask is, did you even resonate? Did you even think they were great? Did you even really like them? Or were you creating this illusion about who they could be and living off of their possibility and their potential? We don't date vapors, empaths. We're not besties with professional con artists, y'all. And people will try to con us because they think we're so sweet, so saccharine that we could never see past their bullshit. But we do every single time. And the questions then put back to you. Why did you think that they were so quote unquote fine or divine or in line with your mission when they clearly could see what you would not is that they weren't? When I looked at a lot of my situations and people that I always tried to contort myself to be part of their lives, and it would happen again all of my life. It wasn't just one situation. I realized that it was like my brain was on vacation, y'all. I look back at them and I don't even like the people that they are. I remember one guy in high school, crazy story, a total complete narcissist, one of my first. And he was had this fake sense of decorum. And he would take the piss. He was British, so that is a phrase he used. He would take the piss out of people. He loved degrading and devaluing people and thinking that he was like upper echelon. And I've watched him pee into people's sinks with no class. Absolutely disgusting. My point in saying that to you is that the people that we were idolizing were complete reckless energies sometimes, and we were trying to make them magical and divine. I know I sure did, even with him. Even with him, that was my bestie, and I was even trying to make him into this magical person. And he was just atrocious to me. And he always chose another thing. It has been a repeated theme in my life. And if you're an empath or an earth angel here listening, you are not here by coincidence. It has happened to you too, where you think that you made yourself into this perfect being, and then the other person would choose someone that wasn't you. And you know why? Because it was a mirror reflection of yourself. You weren't choosing you either. That's the truth. When someone in my life loved This Is Us and they told me the character that they thought should be their spouse, I made sure to let them know that I embodied these characters and I became that person, whether they acknowledged it or ever knew it or not, because I wanted to be what they wanted while neglecting to see that they were never, ever any of those things for me, and nor do they even care. And I don't feel bitterness or sadness about it here because guess what happened? When I told myself the truth, as I'm asking you to do, and your angels are asking you to do too, I realized that there were so many things that they could never provide for me. They were never going to come through. And not in like a, everybody hates me, nobody likes me, I guess I'll go eat worms. No, in like a, I'm a woman of worth. I'm a woman of high value. I'm a woman who loves myself. I'm a woman who does come through. I am someone who adds value to every friend that I have in my life. And I love them and I try my hardest to treat them right. Doesn't mean I always get it right, but I never go in to cause pain. I never go in to be a drain. I go in to edify and to lift. And there are people that will be succubi energy and toxic, vampiric energy siphoning off of you, and that's it. That's the relationship. It's not even symbiotic. At least with parasites, there's a symbiotic relationship. You are just dealing with an actual parasite that doesn't even want to do anything beneficial for you. And you're like, why didn't they like me? Why didn't my dreams come true? What dream, empath? What dream, Earth Angel? The dream where you were in service to someone who never saw you, never saw your value, never wanted to treat you right, never wanted to acknowledge you, and was easily swayed by the flapping lips of snakes and devils that surrounded them. I have dealt with it my whole life and I'm no longer interested. It's no longer interesting because guess what, empath? Guess what, Earth Angel? Guess who's the most interesting thing? It's you. And I'm not saying that in some supercilious way. That is what we came here to do. If you are an empath and an Earth Angel, you came here to incarnate and to have the world crush you, obliterate you. Yeah, it happens. So that you can rise like a phoenix from the ashes, that you can push through the concrete like a rose and realize that you deserve the sunlight on your face, that you deserve the wind beneath your wings, and fuck anybody that didn't want to chip in. You found your tribe. But the first person that leads you to your tribe is you. And it's when you reject the conditioning and the grooming of the world that surrounds you that said that you didn't right quite fit in and you were weird. I embrace every ounce of my weirdness. And guess what happened when I did? Everyone else embraced it too. That doesn't mean that people all love me every day. That's not the truth. Nothing goes that way. But it does mean that the people that do love me ferociously, completely, and loyally. When they speak with me, I hear it in their voice. Hello, Emily. Hello, Natalie. Hello, Tanisha. I know that these people are my tribe. I'm kindred. I feel their vibe. I've been through the things they're going through, and they have gone through the things that I've gone through. And we share and exchange an energy, and we're able to push through. But it's because we figured out that in order to be great, we had to ask the basic question: did they even resonate? Did we even really like the people in our lives? Did we like the jobs we were at? Did we like the friends we made? Did we like the choices that we were making? Did we like what our parents had to say? Or were we conforming to other tribes? We are our own unique tribe here, my loves. We are kindred. And if you stay and you find yourself coming back, there's a reason. Because this is the message. You finally got those monkeys off your back. I don't care how they felt about you. Please know that I love you, that I see you, that I adore you, that I will pour into you because you guys have poured into me. Because I am of service as an earth angel and an empath, just as they are asking you to be, if you're listening. We spend so much time giving our power away. Will they like me for one more day? Hold on for one more day, y'all. The silliness has come back because those monkeys are off my back. What is it? What is that song? Oh, that's why they gave it to me. Someday somebody's gonna turn around and I don't know the words, girl. Y'all, I have a lot of talents. I always say that is not what I'm singing. Is not what I got. But what I will tell you, they're gonna turn around and make you cry. Yes, Wilson Phillips. Hold on for one more day, my tribe. Find your voice and ask yourself, if you had your druthers, would they be your choice? Because when I really looked at it, I was like, this is a shenanigan. This is not the person that I want to have at the beginning or the end. I don't like people that are milk toast and wishy-washy, that don't have their own backbone, that are easily led by low vibrational, ridiculous people that have never been fed true spirituality. If you can't see me, then I can't see you. Then that means that you ain't gonna be my boo or my bestie or my whatever. The truth is, when I assessed the people in my past, when I got my head out of my ass, I realized that I didn't like them. And that I, with my own will, was trying to get them to bend to become more evolved and more spiritual. And they loved living in the dregs of assholery. They enjoyed and relished and rolled around like pigs in their fuckery. Can you guys relate? You guys have been around people that thought they were great, that were really just ridiculous, that were actually just narcissists. And they were looking at you like you weren't acceptable. They were embarrassed of you. It is laughable. And that's what I want you to hear. On this Venus retrograde, if you're missing and there's a tear, that person from your past that didn't see your worth, did you see your worth? Then if you did, then they were worth every miserable minute you spent with them when it was miserable. Because none of our connections start out miserable or we wouldn't be connected. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's sexy. Sometimes it's interesting. But then I found that a lot of the people began to bore me, but I wasn't being honest about it because I had this weird loyalty to these prackalicious and narcissists that had no loyalty, not even to themselves. So why would they have loyalty to me? That's what you got to ask yourself. When you find your tribe, the vibe is easy. I'm thinking of Willow Smith. Catch a vibe. Maybe we could go to 405. Again, y'all know I can't sing, but that song that's been playing all over TikTok, that is what I want you guys to embody. We caught a vibe. We could hang out for the night. We could be on the 405 or 285 or 95 or 85 South. We are the people with edification in our mouth. We are the uplifters. We are the enlighteners. We are the light workers. Bob DiMarzio, who's crossed over, would laugh if he heard that. But it is what it is, Bob. I am what I say I am, and you are whatever you say you are, empath. And the lies that were told about you, the gossip and the slander and the smear campaigns that were made about you from people that you thought were going to be true, that never even liked you and you didn't like them. Why are you mad that they chose the other person? It took me a while to get there, but I've arrived. It's exactly the person and people that should have been chosen. That's who they needed to not stick by their side so that you could finally stick by your side and realize they were never your vibe. I love you so much. That's a word from my angels, and I'm going to stop there. Come back and join me next time, and we will continue to evolve together.